In this video, I want to share with you a conversation I had with somebody who is looking to make a career transition from recruiting to SaaS sales, or basically like enterprise software sales. And I found the conversation really interesting on a couple different fronts. But he's trying to both maximize his salary and maximize his impact. He's really tired of what he's doing today, and that's a common theme about why people want to make the career switch. But I think there's some good insights in here to help you along your journey, help you maybe think a little bit differently about the possible career switch. The one key takeaway that I want anyone to have from this video is that I never want anyone to devalue themselves when it comes to making a career switch. There's a game being played in the hiring world and the recruiting world, and I never want somebody to take less than what they're worth or what they could potentially get. So enjoy the video. And if you have any comments, leave them below.
I'm really interested. I talked to so many people who are trying to do this, and I'm trying to do this myself, is changing careers.
Yeah.
And, like breaking into SaaS sales, the journey, where to begin, how to link yourself up with the right people, get through the interview process.
Yep.
Things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe tell me a little bit about your background right now, what you've been trying, and we can kind of, go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been very lucky and fortunate. I am the co-founder of a creative staffing agency for the last 10 years in the San Francisco Bay Area. And it's been an exciting time. And we've placed thousands of candidates in a Fortune 100, 500,000 companies in the Bay Area. So, helping people find jobs. I mean, look, that's what you're doing kind of right now, is helping people, guide them through their life. So It's a fun path to be on. But now I'm ready to move. I think I'm done selling people, and now I'm ready to sell something like software.
Okay.
So just kind of that change in the mentality and using my experience in staffing, which maybe some people said, doesn't matter what you did in staffing, now you're going to go into SaaS. So doesn't matter. Relating those everyday interactions and moving that over into SaaS.
Yeah. So why do you want to get into SaaS from the recruiting side of things?
I've always had a love and a passion for technology and software. I was back in the day, a client software engineer.
Yeah.
I was in QA. I helped build websites. I understand the practical purpose of what technology can do for people and companies. So I have a true passion for what it can do to speed up processes or make people's lives easier in their everyday work life, their personal life. And I just love that. And since I'm a business owner, I feel like I have an inside track of understanding how is the technology going to help my business, and what will it do for my company and my team? So putting those two together, I feel like I'm on a good track to really be a part of something great and be with a company who's like on the forefront of whatever they're selling.
Yeah.
And change people's lives in their company. So
yeah. So I think that the biggest thing, the biggest difficulty people have is the career switch, right? Mm-hmm. Especially as we get older, right? We get into our 40s, we get into later 50s and things like that. And our backgrounds become cemented in recruiters' minds, right? This is what you do. This is what you did. This is what you can do for me. And it's very difficult for people to see you other than what you were. So I think that is always a struggle. And I'm wondering, for example, if maybe you're feeling burnt out on the recruiting side because it's your own company right now, and maybe you have people that work for you. And, I know the entrepreneurial side, and it's a struggle, right? And
Mhm.
there's a lot of glamour involved on the outside world. People think that it's going to be this incredible thing, and really it's 7 days a week, totally on 100%, and you can never turn it off, and you can't get your golden paycheck from a tree, essentially, right? Like in
Right.
corporate, there are days that are chill, there are days that are not chill. You get your weekends, you get your paycheck, and it's done, right? That's it. And so it's nice and convenient. Now, I guess, I mean, I'm wondering from you, why not recruiting? Why not use an entry point from recruiting? Because people are going to see you as founder, co-founder. They're going to see you as super valuable in that arena. And then you can jump into one of these top tech companies with something that you have a really rich background on, and the narrative makes sense. Whereas you're going to face a massive amount of friction if you try to get into sales from recruiting. Because at the end of the day, look, man, I mean, like anybody can sell something, right? Like we can all
Right.
sell something. The problem is the people at the gates are not going to see you as the guy who sells, even though your whole mission in recruiting side of things is selling people to work for a company. It makes no
Yeah.
sense, right? It literally makes no sense. The entire world of recruiting, the entire world of interviewing, it's, to me, seems like a mess. And I had a buddy, for example, the other day, and he was applying to, or he was having an on-site interview with, let's just say, a very prominent top tech company. And he got rejected, and they said, we think that you're too much of a doer, and you wouldn't be comfortable with some of the administrative tasks. And I'm like, what a pile of bullshit, right? It's like, this guy is like the bomb, and he's facing
Doesn't make sense.
a handful
Doesn't
of
make
people that are like,
sense.
we want a little bit more humility in our company. And I'm like, humility?
I've never heard that one
Humility, my
before.
ass for
I've
these
never in 10
companies, right?
years. In
No.
10 years, I've never heard humility before. That's a first.
Yeah. So anyway, and I know this guy really well, right? Like, and he is super humble. He is super hardworking. He is an incredible doer. And that's what these companies want. And yet the feedback he gets from the interview is, you're too much of a doer. There's going to be a little bit of administrative work that we don't know if you're going to want to do. And it's like, isn't there administrative work at every role?
Yes.
So
Yes.
anyway, but like, so I guess coming back to it, why not enter there? You're going to get paid just as much. If you actually, you're going to get paid more because you're going to position yourself in a field where you haven't a lot of knowledge.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why not? Why go into recruiting? Why take the safe, easy way? Why not just jump in there feet first?
Yeah.
Don't worry about what I already know and what I could do, and that's a safe play.
Yeah.
Because here, you made it, John. You made a great point. When you're in your 40s or your 50s, you don't have a long time to really progress quickly. You're not just out of college where you can jump and hop from jobs and figure out what's the best route for you, really what your passion is. So in a way, yes, jumping in and going to recruitment will get my foot in the door, but I'm now diminishing the amount of time I have to leverage how much I'm going to continue working for the rest of my life. So if I'm going to take that jump into getting SaaS sales, yeah, I can learn SaaS, but I'm still going to be recruiting. And yes, it will leverage saying, okay, now he's been a recruiter, but I'm still a recruiter. I'm still going to have to prove myself to get into sales in that company. There's going to be people ahead of me in the company who will get internally hired. They're going to continue to source for those people. I still have to prove myself. Yes, I'll prove myself in the company. I feel comfortable and confident enough. The right company is going to see the value of my 10 years of running a business and say, we need this person. Sure, he doesn't have SaaS sales experience. We see he's humble, like you said. He's very open to learning. He's open to taking feedback. He's hungry to close deals. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm working really hard to get the SaaS job as an account exec.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm okay with that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this though, because we had talked offline about getting paid, right? I mean, a big component of this is really trying to leverage the amount of money you're getting paid in one of these organizations as well. And I think if you're working with great people, I'm not trying to dissuade you, right? I
Sure.
just know what you're up against because I dealt with the same thing. Like I dealt with the entrepreneurial route. I dealt with, I'm making a switch. This was in my early 30s. I had been an entrepreneur for 13 years. And I said, I can do all these things. I'm, humble from this. And I had the 10 employees and I had the couple $1 million in sales and boom, I'm super valuable to somebody. Right. And I hit the job market and it's crickets. Right. And even now, even now, man, like I can put my resume out to 100 companies. I mean, I work for Amazon, for God's sake, right?
Yeah.
Amazon, for God's sake, $1 billion revenue generating platform that I'm a PM on. And I have all of these accolades and LinkedIn top voice and blah, 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 right? Like I could go on. And yet crickets, dude. Crickets in the job market. My resume looks incredible. And when I apply, nothing. How is that possible? Right? If I'm super valuable to a SaaS company or another company like Amazon or whatever, what is the deal? And that's the same thing. Like that's the same thing people in the job market face, right? Unless you know somebody in that company who sees that bridging gap of value, you face this massive uphill hurdle.
All right. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
The thing is, I hear.
Don't worry about sound in the background or whatever. Don't worry about it.
Oh no, I'm checking on my daughter. She's
okay.
putting headphones up. She's putting headphones on my dog.
Oh yeah, perfect. That's how these things go. Don't worry about it.
So here's the thing. You and I both know what it takes to build a business, and you are not following anyone else's path. You're getting guidance and suggestions. You're reading books. You're listening to podcasts. You're talking to anyone and everyone, people who are smarter than you, people who have not done well.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If I'm going to create my own business and I'm going to go for it, I'm not going to let anybody stop me. Yeah. So while I appreciate and respect what you're saying, that you might take the safe route, like if I'm going to be in sales and SaaS, I can't take the safe route to close deals and to meet customers. So I'm looking to hustle. Now I'm aligning myself strategically with people who can get me the inside interview to that company.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I respect what you're saying.
Oh, no. I get it, man.
I've talked to a lot of people who said, and I applied to DoorDash, and the hiring manager said, so Eric, why do you want to get account management? Just be a recruiter. You know what? That's what he thinks I should do. What I want to do is get into SaaS sales. And for me, I'm jumping straight in, and I feel confident myself. I'm going to use my last 10 years of experience.
Yeah.
I'm just headstrong that way.
No, I get it, man. I love that you're headstrong with it. Let me pose it a different way. Okay. So let's say all things being equal, you get paid $250,000 doing SaaS sales at one of these top tech companies, right? Or you get paid $250,000 doing senior recruiting at one of these companies. End to end, the value, the compensation winds up being the same. So what is the lever for you? Like what's the motivation?
That's a great question. And I've already thought about this, but I can present that right now.
No, good. Throw it out at me.
I'm not excited anymore. I've lost the passion after 10 years of being in recruitment. Yeah. And I don't want to do a job that I'm not passionate about, because you talk to a lot of people and everyone says the money will come, just like you talked about, like grounding yourself, but also maximizing your earning potentials. Yeah. Right. I don't want to work in a job that I'm not going to be happy as a recruiter, as a senior recruiter. Right. I'll do a great job. Yeah. But I'm excited to do something new and excel at it and be great at it. So it all comes down to my passion. Yeah. And my passion, I've just kind of lost, and I'm honest with you, I've lost a passion for recruiting. I really have. Yeah. Does that kind of answer your question or no?
No, it does, man. It does. And anything I say is merely a data point, right? and it's merely colored with my own experience and what I've done and what I'm seeing on the entry gates at some of these organizations, right? And my entrepreneurial background as well. So just take it for what it's worth, right? Like I don't want to, by no means am I trying to steer you in the wrong direction. When I look at, when I think about the passion, I think about what in corporate America really makes me happy to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really think necessarily of the topic of passion. And one thing that's really stuck in my head is that there's a guy by the name of Steven Kotler, and he's like this crazy thought leader on the topic of like human performance. And he says passion really looks like just curiosity. And we think of passion as something that is supposed to be from the ages of 18 to 25 of like passion, like romantic love passion. I'm searching for the thing that's going to give me this constant state of bliss and like these chemical dopamine hits of like, you know, the world is colored beautiful. Right. And the reason why I bring that up is because like there are elements of what you're doing right now that you're not excited about anymore. But if you break it down and you say, if I were to join a new team at one of these companies and they were great people and I was getting paid great money and I was working for whatever, Google or Amazon or whatever, doing one of these roles, could I, and this is just a question that I ask myself, could I literally do anything, even if it was something that I had done in the past and like it? And the answer for me would be, yeah. If I was working with great people and had a great schedule and was getting paid great money, would the industry or field really change that much in my mental model to sway me saying I'm more passionate about this than that? I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I don't look at corporate as an arena where I'm going to find passion. It is a revenue generating source for me that I use to build my bridge to my passion projects outside of work. I am under no personal illusion that I will ever find passion in corporate. And that's just my perspective, right? Like I look at it and I go, look, I could have the shittiest boss in the world doing SaaS sales, right? Like what happens for you and you go, oh my God, you know, I got that SaaS role. It's unbelievable. I can't wait. I jump into that company and holy shit, my boss is the worst person in the world. And now I hate my life. It wasn't the industry. It has nothing to do with the industry. It's like the people around me suck. And now I wish I was doing what I was doing before. Right. So there's these,
but it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter, as you said, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It matters that the people you're with.
Totally. The people.
So let's take the job out of the equation and let's just talk about the people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you, when I first started the business, I was not a good boss.
Yeah.
I was learning as I went. I had an HR consultant. I asked so many questions. It's tough being a good manager. It is so difficult. But here's the thing. If we take that out, so I think as someone seeking out to get a job anywhere, it's like can we connect who we are with who they are and align that and say, this is going to be a great, not culture fit, because that's such a generic word.
It's a generic thing.
This is like going to be a great community of people from different backgrounds and different skill levels. And they're all just working toward like an amazing goal of helping people, helping each other, learning about life. Right, because it's not just business; it's personal. Right, you're getting to know these people in a personal and business relationship. Yeah, and having fun. Right, having fun is the key to this. So
I agree.
If we take what I want to do out of the equation, and that can happen just like in life. The relationship today with whatever you're doing, personal business, could change tomorrow. Yeah. So I like we're kind of like expanding and we're like going back. We're kind of going back a little bit and getting, instead of micro focusing on what it is we want to do. Yeah, it's who we want to be with and who we want to be in that role. So
yeah,
that's a tough one.
I mean, I agree. It really comes down to like who I want to be with. And I'll tell you this, like, man, my first role at Amazon was the worst experience I've ever had in my life from a job perspective, ever. ever, ever. Like worst experience. I will like put a pin in that so hard. I can't even express how horrible of a time I was having. If you can just kind of feel it from me.
Yeah.
People, processes, backstabbing, horrific experience.
Sorry to hear that.
I mean, I'd come home crying at night going, why are people so horrific here? Okay. And I thought that was the way the entire corporation was run. And I said, I got to leave. I got to get the hell out of here. This is terrible. And so I switched teams, and same floor, pre-pandemic, right? This is when we went to offices, but the team was on the same floor right down the hall, a couple cubicles away. And the experience for me was best corporate experience I've ever had in my life to worst corporate experience I've ever had in my life on the same floor. Same field. So you never know what you're going to get when you walk into one of these companies.
Exactly. So if you're going for the recruiter job, like you said, I could be in a small, there's, multiple offices there, and one of the offices is recruiting team. And it could be the worst experience in the world. And right over there, it could be the SaaS team for sales. And they could just be so amazing and just have such like intellectual, like happiness. And they want to just give. They don't want to get. And they're open to people doing better than them. And they're open to helping people who are not doing as well as they are. And managers are looking to help foster and create, people who really just want to grow in their life and be a better person, and they see that, right? Yeah. So it's you can flip it on its head either way,
and vice versa. So, yeah, exactly.
So you're really getting me to think about how important it is in my next role. Yeah. So
I guess it's a simple exercise to just kind of look at like, what's the most important thing to me when it comes to being the age that I am and being, and working in corporate, aside from the job at all, right? Like what is the value? And I look at it and I think, okay, like I need a little bit of freedom because I have my passion projects outside of work. So I get my weekends. Great. Can I do that in any industry, any role? Yeah, probably. I want to get paid, right? I want to get paid for my time because it's corporate, and I know the game there's a game, dude. It's a game being played. And I'm wanting to leverage as much of my background as possible to create a cohesive story where I get paid, right? Like I'm not taking a pay cut to jump into another industry. I'm maximizing the shit out of my salary in the industry that I'm in, even if there's politics and bullshit, whatever, because that nest egg allows me to put into other things and retire. Like I don't want to stay in the cage, man, but I've been on the entrepreneurial side too. So there's a different side of cage over there. Right. But I look at the values and I go, okay, value, a little bit of freedom, good money, great people. Could I do that in HR? Yeah. Could I do that in sales? Yeah. Could I do it in product management? Yeah. Engineering, So I don't know if it's really, at least for me, the job title that necessarily matters. It just comes down to the value system.
Titles don't. There's been so many candidates who didn't take a job pre-pandemic who could name their price in the creative marketing industry, and the title meant something to them, and they're making like $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
And their title wasn't what they wanted. So let me pose this question to you.
Yeah.
You want to maximize your potential and your earnings, which I hear you saying, and why not use and leverage your background? And if you're going to work for a company, do it.
Yeah.
They don't really care about you necessarily. They care about you, but they don't really care about you. Have to care about yourself and push yourself forward to maximize your earning potential. I see it from, am I going to step down in pay? Right?
Yeah.
But what is the results years down the line? Am I going to step down and pay for today over the next year, but I know that the path to getting to where I was or going beyond that is going to be even greater. And I see the end game. I don't know all the steps to get there, but I see the end game. And what I'm trying to do is figure out how to get there the quickest, the fastest, the easiest way possible. So I think I take a year of being a recruiter in a firm, in a SaaS firm, and then that might be the best, steps to get there to the goal. But I just want to jump in there and do it. And if I take a little bit of a pay cut, now, of course, I've said I want to make 200 OTE, and I said this in Thursday Night Sales with Amy Wallace and with Scott Leese, and they had a lot. They're like, the money's not there. It's what you do, and the money will come. That's what Amy was all talking. It's not the money you're going to make. It's what you do, and the money will come. Like, you got to get in there and hustle. So if you have that mentality, it doesn't matter if you're going to get and align yourself with the same salary you're making now, or you might take a little bit of pay cut, but you're going to hustle to get beyond what you could make in recruiting.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, let me pose it a different way. What is the end game for you? And not end game, but like 10 year out, what's your end game? And then let's work backwards from there.
I'll be living in Hawaii, surfing every day in Waikiki Beach. That's my end game. But
that's honesty, awesome. I love that.
But here's the thing. I love being a leader. Now, am I a good leader? I'm learning to be. I want to be the top of the company. I don't want to be the president. I don't want to be CEO. I want to help utilize my brain, those brain cells, to help catapult the company. So in a producer role, getting a SaaS sales, that's the beginning for me. I want to go into a company. I don't want to be Jeff Bezos. I don't want to be, Travis or anybody like that at Uber, but I want to be at the top with the players that can change the trajectory of some sort of technology. I'm excited to give my thoughts to, that's what I do in my company. I was very strategic in what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be in the ground level. I want to be at top and ground. So if we're talking about the end game, it's driving the direction of where a company is going to go, not sitting in the producer seat. I want to learn the ropes. I want to get there, roll my sleeves up, get dirty, get respect, know the ropes, but I want to continue to move up in the corporate ladder. And I don't know if that's the right, I don't know how it is in the corporate ladder. I did that on my own company. No one can stop me doing that. I don't know. You tell me how it is to start getting to higher level positions, how hard that is, how difficult that be, how stressful that could be. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So from a comp standpoint, one thing you talked about is starting to take a pay cut and then moving up from there. So if you were to think 3 years out from a senior recruiter role or a high level recruiting role at a large tech company, mm-hmm. versus total comp for sales, do you have data points that point you to thinking or knowing that sales is going to be way higher total comp?
Yes.
Way higher.
Yes.
Okay. Like how much higher? Give me an idea.
I don't know what all the recruiters make.
Yeah.
Internal recruiters.
Yeah.
But in staffing firms, recruiters, they can make 150 OTE, maybe 200 if mm-hmm. you've got many years of experience.
Yeah.
From my understanding and research with SaaS sales, people can make 200 to 300 as an enterprise AE, and depending where you work, it could be even more. So I feel the maximizing my potential of making money in the long run, SaaS sales is going to get me there. But I don't know if I'll be happy. Who knows? Okay.
So here's what I would have you do. I would have you explore some of these top tech companies. There's an app called blind.com. I would look at Blind, and people dish on their total comp. That's like the number one thing people do. It's like a running joke within the app that, like, if you're going to post something, even if it's about like your life, you have to say TC equals and show your total comp. So everybody's posting their total comp in all these different organizations. You could literally post a question and be like, hey, what's TC at Amazon, Google, Facebook, whatever, right?
Okay.
Or one of these Salesforce, right? I think what you'll find when you really dig into it, in these senior recruiting roles, you could easily make 250 plus at any one of these organizations, easily.
Agreed.
In recruiting, because your base salary is going to be whatever it might be. Maybe your base salary is like 180, right? The secret world of top tech salaries is the stock compensation and the bonus structures and the bridge cash and all of these other benefits that when you go and look on Glassdoor and say, what is the comp for a recruiter? You're just seeing base salary. So what you're not seeing a full picture of what's really going on behind the scenes of the offers that are happening at these companies. So if your target comp goal is 250, 300, I don't think that's unachievable at all, given your experience today. Like right now, senior recruiter at one of these companies, I think that's easily achievable. So if you think SaaS versus recruiting, and the salaries wind up being the same, then where's your least amount of friction? And if you can work with great people, is it really going to matter for you to go into sales? Maybe not. I'm just posing the question, right? Like,
good questions.
Possible planting of a seed here. Who knows if it makes sense? But and obviously you can do a number of different strategies here. Like strategy number 1, keep looking for SaaS, of course, right? Strategy number 2. Have a different resume out there and pose the direction of, I'm a senior recruiter, I'm going to own it, or I'm a VP of recruit, whatever it is, whatever your job title you want to be, and go down that road and see how many hits you get. I think logically from a recruiting angle, and because you're in the recruiting angle, right? Logically, somebody's going to look at your background and go, oh yeah, this person's got a rich history in this. I need to call them. So you're probably going to get more hits. Possibly, I
mean, absolutely. I know people switching to SaaS sales and they've done millions of deals they've closed.
Yeah.
They go to SaaS sales and apply to 200 jobs and it's crickets outside, right? Yeah. I know someone who's an enterprise AE. She applied online. 3 days later, she's going to go interview. She's got the meat, the sandwich. She's got everything there that they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Yeah. Tell me.
Here's something to think about. What is the difference between selling people and selling a product?
There's no
difference. In your opinion?
There's no difference whatsoever. No difference whatsoever. But it's a myopic focus of an industry that only sees one thing. What did they do in the past 3 years that are exactly the same as what I need because I have 200 people at the front gate, right?
I mean, we can't provide
How do you get past that?
We can't provide a client with someone who has been doing print, magazines, and mailers, right? And now they want to go to the digital space, and the client says, we needed someone who has digital background.
Yeah. You
can't do it. The client says, we need someone to jump in there right away and do this.
Day one. That's all they want.
So again, I will disagree with you.
Yeah.
Selling is selling, but selling people is different than selling software. It is different. Now, have I sold software? No. Have I been a part of software technology implementation? Yes. So I think I'm not going to say happy or passionate.
Yeah.
Well, I understand and agree with the play would be going into recruitment. I'm still going to stick with SaaS sales, and I'm hustling to get in there, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And I'm not here to convince you one way or the other, man. Right? Like
I respect what you're saying. I really do.
So no, I mean, I appreciate that you're like, look, I'm sticking to it. That's what I want to do. All I can do is say, just look at where the friction's at, look at where you can maximize your salary, and look at the values, not necessarily the role. And, and in any one of these roles, you probably can find a similar level of joy, happiness, fulfillment, as long as you're with the right people. So, look, I mean, if you want to, I'm happy to refer you into Amazon, right? I'll refer you into Amazon.
I don't have this, to get a job at Amazon right now.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I'm pretty sure that to go to SaaS sales, there's no way it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. They need someone who's going to go in there and knock it out of the park. That's the kind of people they're going to need. So if I went to Amazon, it'd be purely a recruiting play, right?
Yeah.
Facebook, Amazon, Google.
Right.
I'd have to use my recruitment and go and get a recruiter job for sure. I couldn't break into SaaS sales with those companies. I doubt it.
Okay. So I agree with you. I agree. And I was going to say specific to recruiting and see what you could potentially get as an offer there. But so the one downside, the one risk that you take if you're going into SaaS sales, somebody says, you know what, man, you don't have any experience. And you go, yeah, no, I know. I'm willing to take a cut. Right. And then they devalue you, man. You know how hard it is in this game to get paid, right? And now you've been working as hard as you have for a long time. Now you're going to undercut your salary. So you're willing to take less. You're willing to devalue yourself. And then you know how hard it is to climb back that extra 30, 40, 50K? Because you already put yourself down, right? So I always worry about somebody saying that they're willing to take a pay cut to jump into another industry. That makes a lot of sense when you're 20 years old.
I don't remember if I said,
yeah.
I'll use the line a lot of politicians. I don't recall saying that.
Okay. No.
I mean, right now I want to get a job getting paid 200 OTE.
Yeah.
Out of the gate.
What's OTE mean? Sorry.
So that's a total compensation of base and commissions.
Total comp. Yeah. Total
comp.
Yep.
Am I going to get that? I don't know, but I think highly of myself. And if someone laughs at me,
you should.
That's okay.
It's good.
That's okay. So, and I have to tell you that a lot of people this is really important.
Yeah.
Really important. A lot of people that graduate from college undervalue themselves and don't ask for more money, and companies take advantage of that 100%. People undervalue themselves. Go in there strong. You can never go up, but you can always go down. Yeah. Do your research, but if you feel like you can knock it out of the park, tell them why.
Yeah. You
can always come down.
I totally agree with you, man. So I'm looking right now. Let's see. I'm looking at Amazon senior recruiter salaries and just trying to get an idea. Like if your number, you have 200 in your mind, right? So senior technical recruiter base 150 bonus 67
Rubes.
Total pay. You will, I mean, man, I'm telling you, dude, with the experience that you have, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to get an offer for well over 200.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't looked up the salaries for recruiters, so you just gave me some inside information that is something to think about.
It's something to think about. Yeah. And if look, I mean, you got a fallback plan, right? You're going to drive hard on SaaS sales.
Well, can I ask you this?
Yeah, sure.
So, and again, the option play, stocks, private, public, so on and so forth, right? That's a whole nother subject to analyze.
Oh, it is.
But if there's
highly lucrative.
Right.
Yeah.
And it could be highly lucrative. And also companies use it as a strategy to play to entice people to come for lower, salaries and all that. But you're going to get all these options for one day you can vest and we're going to go public one day, right? Everyone's going to tell you that.
Sure.
But so there is a risk in working maybe for like Amazon, they're public. So you're going to get stock options.
Yep.
It could play out well for you. Yep. But what if there's a startup or a company, right, that's going to go public soon or whatever it is? What about that? What about that risk of going in there and going for some options? And if you've done your research and you talked to a lot of people and got their opinions, right, not just throw the dart in the air and hopefully that company will be great.
Yeah.
Right? Make some smart strategic decisions.
Yeah.
What is your thought on that?
No, it's you have to be taking a very calculated risk when it comes to a small organization. The first thing I'm doing is I'm researching all the negative news on the organization. I'm trying to figure out who is the CEO, have they had a successful exit in the past, who's working under them, are they on social media, what are they talking about, just who are these people? And there's a couple risks when you work for a small org, man. I mean, one is you gotta wait for somebody above you to retire, to move out, or die before you can get to go up. I'm serious. Like, I'm serious.
I never thought about the dying part, but okay.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like literally, like it just, somebody else who's like the VP of sales.
Yeah.
You're like enterprise sales. You're like senior enterprise sales, and the VP of sales like is your glass ceiling at that organization. There's no other positions. You either wait for him to move out, or her to move out, that it could take you 10 years. And then you're capped. And then you're praying for the unicorn event, which is a 1% chance. So like, I would much rather look at somebody like, and I have their stock is going to be private. And so they're going to sell you the dream, and you're going to have to say, do I truly believe in this dream or not? If I don't, then I want more base, right? If I do, then I'm going to want a kind of combination of base and stock, because I don't want to bank on one day this thing happening. Now, if I look at a large tech company, I say, all right, so, at least analysts are saying over the next 12 months, over the next 24 months, there's a bunch of really smart analysts saying that the stock price is either going to be here, here, or here, right? I look at the median and go, pretty safe bet that my stock is going to be worth more than when I joined, and I'm making a calculated risk, but it's a safer one than I would say in a small company. So.
Valuable wisdom while my dog is barking in the background.
Yeah, totally.
He's freaking out at the TV. It's on screensaver mode.
Oh yeah, jumping around.
He's upset because they've devalued him and he's not getting enough like treats every day. This is really good stuff, and I appreciate you like giving me your insight.
Yeah,
and also cognizant of time here. My business partner, she's talking to me about all the time about keeping our business going, right? That's a third option, right, John? That's a third option. Yeah. Going to corporate and recruitment, getting the SaaS sales like I want to do, or keeping the company alive. And we know that keeping your company alive, if you've been successful, you know what you can do to make it successful again if things have just kind of flattened out and bottomed out. Yeah. Rubes, keep it down, please. Rubes, keep it down.
But I guess
that's another option.
It is. It absolutely is. Now, if you went into recruiting, that probably wouldn't be an option, right? It's a conflict of interest. If you go into SaaS sales, not a conflict of interest to keep those things going. Or potentially it could be, right? It depends on the company, right? A lot of these companies are very hesitant to allow monetization of outside things. So if they find out,
it's the side gig thing, right?
Yeah, they're just kind of like not really into it. But another thing to consider is just your time, right? If you got your full-time day job, that's going to take up, especially a new job, it's going to take up a massive amount of your time, at least for the first year, to try to understand like what's going on, and then you're trying to run your recruiting firm on the side. So
I don't think I could handle that.
Yeah,
that wouldn't work for me. Plus, I have 2 kids.
Yeah, it's a lot,
and
man.
they're hybrid school. So that's another thing to consider is, and I am assuming there are companies now more than in the past that have the life, the work, the home, the children. Some companies are more open and understanding,
I think so,
than others, and that's another important factor to consider when taking a job.
Yeah.
What is their policy with if you have families and you got to pick up the kids at preschool or whatever it is?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I mean, a lot of these companies are so much more agreeable. Sorry, hold on one second. Wife is texting me here. Let's see. Okay. But yeah, man, I mean, I definitely You definitely keep me posted on the journey. If you find whatever you do from a LinkedIn perspective, really try to own whatever it is that you're going after. Right? If you're going after the SaaS, what makes you, like, put your recruiter hat on and say, what would make a different recruiter reach out to me now on the SaaS side of things based on what I've written here? Do you want to
Recruiters
own?
won't reach out to me. They're not going to reach out to me. And here's my play on what I'm doing around for
Yeah.
getting a job.
Tell me.
So there's Rev Genius. There's Jared Robin. He's a founder of that. And he's been a great help, and I'm giving him as much time as I can to help out his cause. I just signed up for Justin Michael. He's got the Sales Borgs. I'm getting in that, going to Thursday night sales.
Okay.
I'm also going on Clubhouse and pitching myself in rooms that will leverage hiring people who are hiring SaaS, talking to people like you.
Yeah.
They're saying they can fast track me with my resume to the right hiring managers.
Smart. You should.
Yeah. So, and I just had, 2 interviews yesterday. I'm at second rounds for another company next week. Talking to someone from Oracle that I met on Clubhouse.
Good. Yeah.
So, and what I do is I absorb as much as I can from every. Hey, Ruby, can you keep it down, please? And I'm absorbing.
I don't hear anything, man. Anyway, I don't even hear it.
For me, it's
Okay.
slightly distracting.
Okay.
But I'm absorbing. Like, I try to absorb pieces of information that will make myself communicate in a better way, identify what they're looking for,
Yeah.
and just to go back, if we're going on time, I switched from the hospitality industry. I went to cooking school. I was a chef. I opened up award-winning restaurants, and this is pre-2000, the bubble, the tech bubble. I switched into getting into tech. I interned at a couple companies while I went and took Visual Basic. If you know programming, I took a Visual Basic class at a junior college. I interned at a couple companies. Hey, Ruby, you got to keep it down, sweetie, please. And so then I got to a .com. And after 20 companies I interviewed, I learned all the lingo. I learned what they're looking for, and I just dumped everything on the 20-year-old hiring manager, and I was hired. I got my foot in the door. So I guess I should have presented this to you before. Like, I know what it is to work my way up and to figure out the angles to get in there.
Yeah.
For me, I was successful, and it worked. Yeah. Then again, I own my own company. So I'm using my past history of how I was able to go and switch careers and pivot.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look, man, I did it too, right? Like I had a company and I had no idea about product management. Mm-hmm. I mean, for me to say to you that it's not worth making a pivot, that's not what I'm trying to get across. Like I in my early 30s had no product management experience. Nobody would hire me, right? I took some steps, got an MBA, went to software development school. I took a couple necessary pieces. I did the networking thing like you're talking about. And I found a way into American Express. And then that led me into Amazon, right? So can it be done? Absolutely. I think that's not out of the realm of possibility, but I was in a place where I was making $12 an hour. Like I was working at Best Buy, dude. So, now if I look at my perspective of like trajectory, salary, game being played in top tech companies for the salary ranges that are happening. And I say like, would I ever, in the position I'm in now, take a pay cut to drive into a different avenue that I might be more interested in the first place? I would never do it. Not at my age, never.
And I don't want to take a pay cut. I don't want to take a pay cut either. So
yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. But see,
there was someone on Thursday night sales, and he talked to Aima Vallis. He's like, I'm in the hospitality, food and beverage selling. I want to go into SaaS. And unfortunately, I have to tell my wife that I'm going to take a pay cut, but the potential of commissions is there, and I can get my commissions. And he's like really concerned, but he wants to jump in there. So he can't get an F&B, food and beverage job in SaaS. Now there's some SaaS companies that do sell that product, but he truly might have to take a pay cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for him, it's not as easy. For me, I can leverage my recruitment background.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the first offer you get in SaaS.
Hey, Rubes, we got a timeout, sweetie. Okay. You can play as loud as you want as soon as I'm done with this. Love you too. I love you too. All right.
I got a 7-year-old, dude. Don't worry about it. Like the first offer you get from a SaaS company will be illuminating for you. That's going to be a really tangible data point, right? How long did it take to get from start to finish for a role? How much are they willing to pay me? What's really the upside? Not like the selling me the dream. The top sales guy makes X. It's like, what's the average sales guy make? Right? Because I don't even know what
I ask those questions. Absolutely.
Right? You know,
yes.
and then see, like, if it's a solid offer, you know, great, but also pressure test it against a solid offer based on your background, a frictionless background, you know, experience to leverage even more money. Could you, based on what you're looking at on paper, be making more in the recruiting world? And use that as your scale.
Have you had this conversation with a lot of people who could leverage what they did before,
dude,
and they want to get into SaaS?
I talk to 50 people a month at least, just like this. I mean, I hear it every day. It's constant. You know, people. A common theme that I hear is people saying that they are dissatisfied with what they're doing today, and they want to make a switch. They're tired of it. And so what they do is they throw away, a lot of times, I'm not saying you're necessarily doing that, right? You're trying to kind of leverage components of sales in recruiting for this SaaS world. But I do have a lot of people who say, like, you know, John, like I have a biology degree or whatever. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do something else. And it's like, well, maybe you could leverage your biology degree and product management and try to marry them together to do something. But remember, you'll face a bunch of friction, you know? Any one of these companies too, that you try to get into, if you did go in the recruiting world, once you're in, right? And Amazon in particular is one great example. Now, not every company is like this. American Express would have never been interested in entertaining somebody making a switch into a different type of role. That would not be okay at a lot of companies. There's a lot of politics involved in making switches. But like at Amazon, if somebody wants to make a switch, it's literally like a handshake deal. You're having coffee chats with the team. They need somebody in sales. You go, hey, look, I'm a rock star in my role. I'm a rock star at sales. Give me this shot. And you're already in, right? And they go,
I agree.
We love them.
And that's a very smart play. Like with Amazon, absolutely. That is a really smart play. So that's, yeah, and I agree.
It's an opportunity.
I agree. And then also there's SaaS companies who have Workday, right? How many companies out there selling SaaS software that sell it to recruiters and staffing firms? So if I'm going to leverage myself, that might be the best way to do it.
What you just said right there, that's the angle, man.
Right. That's the angle.
It's SaaS for recruiting firms, man. They're going to take, that's the angle. They're going to take a chance on you. But still, make sure they don't undervalue and underpay you because you don't, quote, have the experience. Be like, look, I'm hungry as hell. All right. I'm worth every penny of what this range of salary game is worth.
I hear what you're saying. If I understand, to break through all of the last hour of talk, it's about not devaluing yourself. And I hear your message, right? Yeah. You're not worried about what people do in their role. No. It's just not getting devalued is what you're saying. That's resonating because you've been there.
I see that every single day. People are devaluing themselves and you're not doing that. I'm just saying people do it. And
well, it depends when I get an offer.
Oh,
it's going to be significantly under 200,000, potential of OTE. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Potentially, but maybe not. If it's at an Oracle or at a Salesforce or at a whatever, maybe that OTE winds up being.
But at that point, I need to leverage someone like you who has the inside track to the hiring managers, because as you know, that this, they call it tech stacks. We're talking about the apply stack.
Yeah.
500 people apply,
Dude.
Boom, black hole. Next level below that, right? It's maybe you get a referral, you kind of know the person, dig a little deeper, finally get to the like 10%, 5%.
Yeah.
Someone who works there who has a relationship with a hiring manager, like, you got to hire Johnson, you got to hire Eric. This guy is going to kill it.
Yeah.
And you're talking directly to the hiring manager. Boom. And that's a tough play for a lot of people to figure out how to
that's what I do. I mean, I help so many people do that exact thing. I tell them, look, you know the game being played just as much as I do. Give me your top 3 proudest achievements as bullet points. Make your resume insane, stellar, right? What did you achieve? Because all the hiring manager wants to know is, can they deliver value from day one? Can they step into it? I don't have to babysit. They're going to just take ownership and crush it. So I tell people, okay, bring that to me. And the first thing I do, I type in, look for the hiring manager, find the hiring manager, send that message directly to them. Like, I have a rock star. Here's why, 3 bullets. And you need to look at this person. Know you're hiring for the role. Nobody else matters in this role. I don't say that exactly, but like, I make it firm. Like, you would be crazy if you don't interview this individual, stamped with my approval. And that 9 times out of 10 is going to get you an interview over the stack of 500.
Yep.
So, well, man, like, let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Hit me up on LinkedIn. If it comes down to salary negotiation, if you're like, I'm not feeling good about an offer that I got, or you're feeling great about it, but you want to make more, I can like help you kind of like level up that negotiation, potentially get you to where you need to be, whatever, man.
I appreciate that. And I'd love, there's people always say, I want to help you, but this has been like a good learning experience, because I talk to a lot of people and we're always going back and forth, but I've applied here. I talked to someone offline. I met them through LinkedIn. Hey, you look cool. Let's have a coffee talk.
Yeah.
But like, you're different with what you're talking about. You're like looking to help people get the inside track and what you can help them with. So yeah, I'd love to like be a part of your ecosystem and kind of bring out the message, because, recruitment is all about like helping people.
Yeah.
Right. It's a human thing.
It is a human thing.
So that's what you're doing. You're in the human side of jobs, not if financially you're trying to help them, but it's all about the human side of jobs. And that gets lost in the interview process, right?
Yeah.
You go to DoorDash, they're like half an hour, boom, next person, half an hour, boom, next person. You got half an hour to like shake and bake, or you're out at DoorDash, because they're,
Dude, that's at any company. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I'll never get it. I teach people on interview tactics, and yet no matter what you say, Bobby over there interviewing you having a bad day is going to color the whole experience, or he's going to be looking for the thing that doesn't quite jive with his mental model of the world, right? It's a total crapshoot. So
right. You got, just like we tell people in recruitment, people like, oh, I'm going to register with your staffing firm. Great. But you know what? You need to register with all the other staffing firms, and you need to be looking on your own, and you need to be connecting with people who are working at those companies. You, as a job seeker, you have to leverage like multiple outlets.
Yeah, you
okay?
do.
You got to do that. And that's an important thing, right?
Yeah.
Just because you might get us an inside track where that you said 9 times out of 10, they're going to interview, you still have to interview well and tell your story, right? And identify with that person, make a connection.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother subject, right? Where a lot of people lose out on.
I mean, that's the biggest issue that we have right now, is the lack of human connection when it comes to these interviews. You'll interview at a company, it's literally just a phone call. It's not even a video interview. And you're like, well, that's not going to go well, right? You need like the eye contact. You need this person is a human, not just a voice on a phone.
You can't see their facial expression. You can't really understand, like, especially eye contact. Yeah, I'm looking at my camera right now, but I'm looking at you too.
Yeah.
But I'm pretending I'm with you when we're one-on-one together.
Right.
Right. It does make a difference.
It does.
But I can just tell you on Clubhouse, I have, at least from a voice standpoint, a communication standpoint, I'm like, connecting while I'm in the room
Oh, I
on
agree.
LinkedIn.
I agree. It's a cool platform.
And I've gotten a lot of job interviews because of that.
Yeah.
So that has been a huge impact. If people aren't leveraging that, right? Leveraging someone like you, leveraging Clubhouse, but not everyone's they can't go up to the stage and raise their hand and talk about themselves. Me, I'm not afraid to do that because I'm fighting for myself.
You're a sales guy.
And people, I'm not a salesperson.
No,
I'm not trying.
I'm messing.
I'm not trying to sell myself, right? I'm trying to show who I am and what I'm looking for. And then people hear that, right? Yeah, because salespeople, you don't sell, you bring value, right? Like Justin Michael, he can talk to the president of the United States or billionaires, and he treats them like they're his equal.
Yeah.
Right. His style of how he communicates and right. So they respect that. And he's not afraid to talk to people. And that's also another thing in interviews. We get a little nervous. Yeah, we're worried about what they're thinking. And maybe sometimes I freeze up. My brain freezes up.
Yep.
It happens. We're all human.
Yep. That's right.
So
that's right. I totally agree, man. Well, dude, it's no difficult task making a career switch. You can definitely.
I love it. Look, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you hear this from people. I am having honestly so much fun meeting amazing people in SaaS companies.
Yeah.
I've never worked, we had clients, but this is a fun experience for me and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It sucks for a lot of people, but I'm diving in, feet first, and I'm going to have to get some offers that are not going to be good. I'm not going to get offers at all. I'm going to be rejected. That's why we need mentors. We need people like you to help us out. We need someone to be behind us, say, it's okay. Look, we'll try something else. And a lot of people are doing this on their own and they're frustrated. They're scared. They're not making money. That's a tough situation to be in. So we need more people like you to go and say, it's okay. And you're going to get through it. And let me help you. Right.
Test
There's
and
not
learn,
people
man.
like you out there.
Yeah. Test and learn.
Yeah.
Test and learn. So, but keep me posted on it,
Absolutely. I'm there. I'll be communicating with you offline and I'll hit you up. And whenever you have time, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Sounds good, man. Well, have a great weekend and, let's see where it goes, dude. Let's see where it goes.
Love and peace to you, man. Seriously.
Yeah, man. Have a great rest of your day. Okay. We'll talk to you.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye.